Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on the Betwist game. It's a word finding game. We've come a fair ways. I mean, I think it's a kind of complete game in itself right now. And one of the last things we did was add in a tool to find all the words that are in our dictionary that are also in our game board. That's called allAnswers. And I noticed there's a lot of duplication in that, and I want to refactor that. And we'll start with refactoring that. Then I think we'll add a notion of what's the next possible move. And then I think we're going to go into kind of reworking the game grid display. I want to make it more just kind of infinitely scrollable. If you flick one way or the other, it does it. Maybe add a twist motion in there. But I think we can make it a better feeling than the current way where it kind of moves the column around. I think we can make it more integrated. So let's dive in. Now, we started on this allAnswers thing, I guess last Thursday, and my sort of first version just didn't do it. So I'm not sure what it's going to take, but let me show you what I see. So we have allAnswers, and it's returning a set of strings, and we've got a helper function that doesn't return anything. So something's a little funny there. Right. So you run through all the rows and columns and create a location where for each, basically that's for each starting cell, we're going to create an empty grid selection and then select whatever location we're talking about. So this is for our 25 spots on the grid. We're going to make a new example for each, new starting point for each word. And then we're going to do our lookup. We built this sort of somewhat optimized contains and prefixes to give us the answer of, does the dictionary contain this word? And is this word a prefix of a word that the dictionary contains? So this helps us with the current word, book, and prefix tells us if we should keep looking for bookkeeper and bookkeeping and whatever else. All right, and if it is contained, we'll add that to our list of successful words. And if it's prefixed, we're going to try all the extensions, basically every next step we can make, and see which words pop out. Okay, and then tryAllExtensions is somewhat similar. It's got this notion of the neighbors running through them all, and then we build a selection from an existing selection, and we do the same call, contains and prefixes. If it's contained, insert, otherwise try all the extensions. And so that last half, or sort of the interior half, down this little bit, something like that, that section there is duplicated. And I certainly feel like it can be folded together somehow. All right, I've lost my chat. Hang on. Okay. And, well, what we tried before was sort of, I don't know, did we try and make a method for this or something? I'm not sure. But the thing I do see is that we have this notion of what are the neighbors to our current selection. And I think that can be said, if our current selection is empty, then any cell is a potential neighbor. And so I want to make something that says all locations, because I think that's what we're going for here. We don't use row and column for anything beyond building a location. All right, so let's sort of extract. Well, this is an odd thing. Okay. This is the case of a loop that is building up something and then doing something with it. And we can replace that. We can duplicate the loop and keep the part up top that's building something, and then the part on the bottom that's doing something with it. Okay, so let me try that kind of move. And I'm going to be very mechanical. So I think I will just completely duplicate this loop. All right, and then the whole point of what I want to do is this stuff's the selection I'm trying to work on. Oops. So I'm going to keep the location and take out this. Okay. Now, as this is, there's no harm in it, but it's not accomplishing anything for us. So let's run the test just because we haven't run them yet today. And before you make a big refactoring, it's kind of prudent to do that. But what I'm going to eventually do is I'm going to gather up these locations into a set, just like this open neighbors gives me a set. Now I'm curious who calls it like this. Oh, what's going on? Oh, testing. Okay. Good. So let's build up a set of neighbors. Neighbors is set of location, and then we'll just add it every time. Insert. Now, why would I give it a look? Oh, I see. It's giving me back something. Did you insert, and is there a member after the insert? Well, that's kind of irrelevant to me. I think there must be another method I want. Maybe not. Okay. Numbers.insert, and let's just insert this location. Okay. Passed by reference before being initialized. Oh. Okay. Now this, I'm computing those neighbors, but I'm not doing anything with them. So now I'm going to modify this next loop. Okay. And it's really this for, the first two fours. They're building up row and column so they can create a location, and then we never reference row and column again. So I should be able to just do this for location in neighbors, do this whole loop. Okay, and I'm going to take off this for loop, these two for loops. Nothing happens between them, and location is there. All right, let's reformat. Now, this is a big enough move that I want to make sure it works. Good. Okay. I don't know why it lost itself there, but okay. So now this code for location in neighbors, well, it's a lot like neighbors.forEach. I mean, we can make it say the same thing. So I'm driving the code to become more similar. Now, neighbors. Okay, so we do something to calculate neighbors. We call this block of code, and that's exactly the same thing going on here. Now, the funny thing to me is, and this is the twisty part, like calculating this neighbors for selection. I don't object to the result, but I think Yeah, I think this code, once it already knows the neighbors, it's the same. So the tail of this method is the same, but this part is different. So that makes me wonder if it needs selection, it needs result, but could I pass in the neighbors instead? Another way would be to extract out this method that takes location, neighbors, and result, or takes neighbors and result and selection and works from there. But I definitely feel like it's able to be folded together differently. Because I want to just have it do all answers for result and selection and have that work. But I feel like it's got to take the neighbors into this because the loop needs this value. Okay, and then same thing here. If this is done first thing, so this is a little more advanced, but it's recursive, so I don't really want to do it this way, but I could imagine inlining tryAllExtensions here, and it would still call tryAllExtensions, so it's still recursive. But if I did, I would calculate open neighbors, and then I would do the loop. So I'm going to move this above here. Okay. And it's still here for a moment. But I'm saying everywhere I do tryAllExtensions, I ought to calculate the neighbors for the new selection. Okay, now this one, open neighbors. Okay. And then I've got to do the same thing down here with new selection. Okay, so I've built new selection, and I need to use it here. Because remember, if it called it, the first thing it would do would be create open neighbors off of whatever it got as selection. So I think this is kind of the moment of truth on this one. If I've done this right, oh, I got to pass it in then. Neighbors is set of location. Okay. And neighbors. Okay. Let's see if that works. Oh. Now these definitely get tricky with recursion. You got to watch yourself. Okay, but that's a good sign. All right, that's a very good sign. All right, so now I have code that says, given result, given the current selection, given the neighbors, calculate everything. All right, which looks exactly like this. Okay, so I've got neighbors equals set of locations. I've got the selection is an empty one. Okay. And where's result? Result is new there. Okay, yeah, let's do this. If I do this selection of grid, Okay, selection of grid is empty. This location is going to be the new location, I think. Okay, so let me call tryAllExtensions result. Selection and neighbors. and then return result. Okay. Now, if I've twisted things around correctly, this should still work. Okay. Where? Oh, final answers in one. All answers returned empty. Oh no, why did we disable this one? I don't know if this is a real problem or if it's a problem because we're using such a small board. Let me undisable this one. I really should put a comment on those disabled because I don't know why I disabled it. I'm guessing it fails too. Yeah. It just got fun back. I don't think we put in a rule about having 4 characters. Okay, so I'm gonna. I hate thinking. It's on one of these mechanical things. It's a bad sign. All right. So let's pause here. I'll run this test and make sure that it's got the A in it. The list of neighbors should have one cell, 0, 0. Oh. 25 values. Am I really running? It's like I'm not in that test. I don't think that should matter. Well, let's look at grid. I feel like we're not in the right board or something. No. Okay, something's funny. We got a game. It's like grid got ignored. Size, source. Oh. We changed our initializer, I think. Is that a helper initializer? Size, source, vocabulary. Size, source, vocabulary. Yeah, it could be. But we're seeing a 5x5 grid, so that's why I'm very puzzled. Let's stop here. Let's check the game out before I go too far. If the game's wrong, there's no chance the answers are going to be right. Now, why are you here? That's really not where we should be stopping yet. We haven't built the game yet. Maybe I just... Okay. Maybe there's something running I'm not thinking of. Cannot find game in scope. what's in scope. Well, let's make sure we'll break here and we'll continue. Something's weird. Okay, let's do a clean. Okay, I do want to stop here. If I'm just running this one test, why should it create a 5-letter game, or 5x5 game? I mean, no neighbors should come back with an empty list. Right, this is like I've already gone. Print game. Grid. Grid is stuff. Let's see where, let's check it back. Okay, it's running the view. Okay, we're not anywhere yet. No. Recorded expectation field. Game answers. Well, okay, let's take this out of here. Not that it should matter, but all right, let's take these two lines out. So when you start your tests, it actually brings up the content view and all that stuff before it begins any testing. So yeah, it's the initial view that is getting run. Now, I think, let's see, what have I done? Game. Okay, that one's off. I think if I run all tests, now there aren't a lot of people calling all answers, but this one should. Now, I think why this breakpoint's showing here, game, cannot find game in scope. Okay, I don't think it should have called this yet. Let's step. Okay. Did I not call the same game or something? Game is there, game is there. Okay. I mean, print game, he should have, whoops, a 1x1 grid. That's this one. There's something wrong. Xcode. I mean, he's clearly running this one. All right, well, let's debug this one then, if that's where we are. Okay, so in here, we should see neighbors. Now, neighbors should be all 4 cells. Yeah. Okay, that's a good sign. But I've changed something, I think. Okay, so when we call tryAllExtensions, we're going to say new selection equals selection. Okay, let's see selection. It should still be empty. 0 values. Okay. And he knows the grid. Okay, but he's got nothing in there yet. So that's good. And result should be empty to start. Okay. So in here, new selection should just become selection. So one of those letters. Okay, let's continue. Still 0 values. Oh, that's selection. Okay, no selection. Should have 1 value. 0, 0. Okay. We're going to look up the word F, which all we have is fun and fun. So it's not, it should come back false, true. Okay. And oh, I think I know. Who enforces the size on the vocabulary? Is that, no, we just take the words you give us. Okay. We did say our dictionary would have more than 4, but that's in our loader, not here. Okay, sorry. Distracting. Okay, so prefixed is true, meaning we should keep going. Okay, so let's step over, and let's see what open neighbors are. From 0, 0 should be the other 3. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're going to do the extensions new selection with the 1 value set, and those 3 neighbors should, okay, let's continue. Should get us right back to 137. Okay. Actually, selection.guess is probably more interesting. Okay, so far we just have F. Let's print new selection.guess. That should be FU or one of those. Okay, yeah. All right. This should fail, false true again. Oh, I hit go. So now I should see a 3-letter one. Okay. And selection.guess is FU. Okay. FUD is not going to be contained or prefixed. Okay. Skip and skip. Oh, prefixed. True. Well, that's suspicious. Okay, so FUD is new selections. Oh, wait a minute. Should that be selection.guess or new selection.guess? I think that should be new selection.guess. Okay, let me... Now, I don't know why this would work before, so that may mean we've got insufficient tests for this thing. But I think this should be... I think that's what we should be doing. We're adding the new letter, and we want to find out if the new letter makes it a word. Okay, I'll take out breakpoints as we go. Okay, so it's still, yeah. All right. I think that means I need a bigger guess to make sure this is still comfortable. Okay, so let's do finds all answers in, let's do 16 cell board. And this, I'm kind of willing to let it tell me the answers. That's what the original code did, but not the second copy. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me diff these, or semi-check them in to diff them. Game. Now, this is a little annoying. Okay, this one, selection is the only chance, the only possibility. There's definitely a flip because now we're starting with the empty selection grid being called beforehand. Selection.select location. Okay, it is a little different, but I'm just wondering if it was working because it's kind of like one behind, but it gets caught up eventually, you know, kind of thing. That another iteration of the loop would have said, oh, now I see it and it's fine. But I think the 4-letter board is a slightly bigger test, is going to be very suggestive. E. I'm just making up letters. Well, I'm taking words and making letters that resemble them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. 6, or 4, 8, 12, 14. 15, 16. Okay. And I'm going to let it tell me what it sees. I mean, I see fund, funders, if it wraps around, funder, while, oh, I got to give vocabulary. What else do we see? Dress? No. DTS. Lads, maybe? Under? Okay. We'll see what it finds. It probably should find that same set that I gave it. And let's give it a word that's not going to be found. Twist. And beckon. Okay, I'll run this test. And I'm hoping it comes back with a bunch of words. Line's too long, sure. Okay. Funders while. Yeah. Okay. I think that fits what I would expect. Even this might be too long for it. Oh, can I get erstwhile? I don't know if I can or not, but let's try. Erst, and then W's on the next line, WHIL. Yeah, I think that should work. No? Erst. The T should wrap around to the W, HIL, and then L wraps around to E. I don't know if you're hearing that background, but I have somebody working today. Sorry. Wait a minute. Under is certainly in that list. Wait a minute. If funder is there, under is certainly there. What's going on? Ugh. Okay, let me put it back in the main game, and let's just see if it looks right, too. I mean, that sounds suspicious to me. If it finds funders, it ought to find under. And we got our pause. ODI. Well, they're claiming odious is in here. Lathy rhythms. Okay. LATH. Oh, I don't see any H's next to Y's. Oh, wait, there's one. Okay. Where's my L? L A T. Oops. L A T H Y R. Was it ISM? Well, that's what I can't tell. Oh, there's odious. Oh, there. ODIOUS. Okay. Lathyrism. ISM. Yes. Okay. I mean, it looks right-ish. But that doesn't resolve my test. Let's hide this again. Game. Why are you not finding under? So that makes me wonder if is every starting cell considered, which is exactly the place it gets tricky in between these two things, because we we have the neighbors. So the neighbors of an empty selection in effect is everybody. So the next thing you could select is everything, anything. So we're walking through those. We're taking selection, which should be the empty selection. Okay, I'm gonna try and run just that test. Okay, so selection should be empty. Zero values. And the board has got all our stuff. And I guess I want to come back here on my next selection, which should be the U, and get a guess. Okay, so let's find location. Should be 0, 0. Oh, no, it's not. 2, 3. Because it's a set, we don't care. All right. But because it's going to walk through all 16, they should all be there at some point. 3, 0. 3, 1. Well, no duplicates so far anyway. 3, 1. Okay, I don't know. Notice location. Okay, let me try the old school debugging way. Strategic printing. We should get a big slur of these things. Okay. Well, I mean, that looks kind of promising. SLRW. Those are all letters in our board. S, L, R, and W. H. We should see one for 0, 1. 0, 3, 0, 1. Okay, here's the U. Now, the U certainly has N next to it because we found funders. Okay, so do we have a UN? Something is weird. Something's definitely weird. Let me run it again. In different order. Oh, God. Okay, the neighbors. Right, the neighbors coming in, are they being... Let's print those. I'll print that at the top. Try, and then let's look at neighbors. Okay, 0, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 3. Boy, it would sure be nice if neighbors just printed themselves a lot nicer. Let's look at location. Or do I want debug string convertible? What is it called? Custom debug string convertible. And I think I have to be debug description. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's doing something like that. Do I do column row or row column? Row column. Yeah, I wonder if it's doing something like that, but I don't think it's supposed to. Well, I know it's not supposed to, I guess. Okay, 2 0 1 2 3 2 0 2. There's 0 0 0 1 0 2. Well, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Okay, so you come in there and you pick 2 zeros W. Let's find that U. Zero 1 is U. And selection.guess. Oh, wait a minute. So he's got his contains or prefixes coming back false. Oh, did we put restrictions on prefix to be a certain size? No. Oh, sorry. Binary search. let's put these in alphabetical order. Well, can I say dot sorted? Okay. This one did that. That one doesn't matter. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So these are all good now. Let's run it. Oh, I didn't turn that back on. Sorry. Yeah, and the worst is it flickered through my head for a second while I was typing it, and it didn't register like yes. Just okay. I mean, this looks like a plausible list. Disease, D-I-S. Okay, let's try it. D-I-S-E-A. No. Well, there's the only D. I-S-E-A-S-E. Okay. Heart pieces. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a deer relative. I'll just make it up. Seabeds. Q-U-A-T-S, yeah. One of those rare Q words that doesn't have to start with its thing. Now, how do you get an... Oh, there's the S. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even seeing the list, I'm not always sure how to get them, but they're there. Hard hat, that's good. That's a word I know. Lots of these others don't. Okay, I think we're okay. A little foolishness on the test, but all right. Now let's take these out. Okay, and I think it's somewhat subtle, but the big thing is that we're building from the previous selection that we started with, not anything that's carrying between two iterations of the loop. So each loop run pretends to start with the same selection, adds its new letter, and goes from there. Now this one, the only piece... Well, I feel like I want a helper method here. Let's make an all locations if it'll let me. Oh, come on. Okay. Paste it. I think I can make this private. All locations is set of location. Sorry. Well, and I can almost... I'd be kind of okay inlining this and this. Okay, so when you ask for all answers, and I don't think anybody's calling this directly either, probably shouldn't be. Is it solutions? What do I call it? All answers. Yes. Now I don't know why that was failing at one. Oh, it was failing because we didn't do the new selection thing. One word is already sorted, so it's okay. All right, now the funny one to me is this open neighbors. I almost think all locations should be his default answer, but it looks like other people use him. So let's see if there is anybody else. Ooh, no, there is not. Okay. So this is, well, we're testing it. Okay. I'm going to put him below all answers though, since he calls it. Maybe this should be above. It's tricky to know the order. You know, there's sort of, are you bottom up or top down? And I sort of do a top down-ish kind of thing. But I think because the only place in our production code that's using it is this, I think that thing should answer correctly. And it's asking open neighbors given selection. I think his answer should be, if the selection is empty, then the answer is all locations. Now, that should break some tests, or at least one test. I don't know that it will. It looks like we didn't test that. No, we did not. Okay, so let's get all open neighbors. Okay. Okay, and I think we can use the 2-letter game. Let's make sure that test passes. Oh. I think I'm going to use it in this other one now that it works. Yeah, he should just take open neighbors for selection. Like that, but with just selection. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's... All right, let me move this back down because it's called by open neighbors now. So to keep it kind of top down. Now we can't with tryAllExtensions because it's recursive, but I think it expresses what is really going on a little better. If I can get back to it, allAnswers. Yeah. So he's going to take my selection is empty. Well, wait a minute. Why is that working even? Let's pull this out to selection. Okay, so selection is empty. Open neighbors of selection is all the values for that thing. So I think that's that makes it more consistent between here and here too, that you're just always trying to get the open neighbors. And this is just kind of the seed for the full selection. Now, does the test have access to this with file private? I don't really know the answer. I think it should. Okay. Open neighbors. All right, I guess I'll leave that open. I think it's legit. Yeah, open neighbors returns all locations when nothing else is selected, when it's empty. Now, okay. The neighbors is... Yeah, we have to filter based on the game. Type at is part of the game thing. So where's type at? Yeah, up here. So, but open locations. No, I think I'll leave it. Yeah, once again, I'm kind of in this stuck place because I don't want location to be aware of the size. And yet I do. I don't want to tell every location its row, column, and size because then it's in multiple places. But on the other hand, this computation here, the only thing in it that depends on game is size. So I think I could make this all neighbors in location given size. All right, so what I want to say is let locations equals selection.last dot all neighbors at size for size. And move this method over to location. All right, that also makes me wonder. Open neighbors, it's like maybe you should pass me the location you want to know and then I'll do it. But let's do this one first. Okay, so I'm gonna Well, I'm just going to do a move method directly. Let's go to location. Is close. Has neighbor with that wrap size. Okay. Is close. Okay, so let's make function all neighbors. Wrap of int yields set of location. And now this should call wrap by size. And that should go away. Okay, so take the selection last, gives me a location, all its neighbors based on the size of wrap. I think that's balancing out that neighbors is something. Ooh. Map. Because we're working on this now. Wrap. You're talking here? I put that second variable in for a local. Okay. Everything should pass. Now I do see I said moved by size here. And that should probably be wrap again. And we'll let the compiler find them. I'm trying to be a little consistent on the caller side. Okay, has neighbor location. Well, I guess that's okay. Okay, now oh, he does need the selection here. Okay, I guess I'll let that be then. I was hoping to get rid of the reference to selection.last. Well, I could say am I doing that wrong? Okay, I'll let it go. Where's it? Can I do this? No. Okay. It's one extra reference. I guess that's okay. We know it's not nil because we just checked it. Okay, and we have this one recursive routine that everything happens in. Run through the neighbors, extend your current selection, check it, keep it as a word, try more if you need to. Well, we'll run this one more time. I've lost track of whether ContentView has this. No, it doesn't. Okay. And I will run it one more time at the top level because I think we're done with this one. Okay. Slobs. No, slobs. B-O-N-N-E-S. B-O-N-N-E-S. Pocosin. P-O-C-O-S-I-N. That's pretty easy. No wrapping. But the first one had wrapping both vertically and horizontally. Wow. Boy. P&E, we have those. Some of these I would never in a million years guess as words. I would say most of them. Okay. Let's check this in. So we made... Well, let me put that back. Made locations... location.allNeighbors. It is. I mean, I consider myself somewhat of one, but there's just way too many words I haven't heard of. I enjoy Boggle anyway. That's probably what I should say. And this is to make me better at it. Okay. And why did you not push? Man, the month is flying. Okay, oh, that was that one. Slightly over an hour, but I'm happier. I think, I don't know if that not calling new selection in the two places was problematic or not before we started the day, but I'm sure we have it better now. Okay, and the next thing I wanted to look at is this notion of potential neighbors. And so when you start the board like this, well, even if I do this, I think I would like to see a red or pink border around V, R, F, U, Y, U, O, O, and B. And I think that'll help suggest, hey, you can click here next. And a corollary is it will probably put a border around every letter when we start, which is probably okay. That you're bound to click it if you have any clue about what this game is like, or even if you're just randomly clicking because you can't figure it out. And then you'll see all those borders go away except for the ones next to it. I think that'll be enough to tell you you can go around the corner, around the horn. Now, we have the notion of a first. Well, let's get three in a row. A first has like the tail of whatever you have going. Well, it's really the first letter is in a white, well, it's a light gray border. The middle ones are in a darker gray, and the last one is in a red. And so I think this red with the same original background will fit into that scheme. Okay. But we don't have we have a notion of open and last, middle, and first, or first, middle, and last. I'm not sure what we said. But we don't have neighbor. And so I think we need to introduce a concept for neighbor, and mark certain cells as being that. To be a neighbor, you have to be open, and you have to be next to the current cell. Now, I don't know if we have enough information to do that, but let's see. And neighbor, I don't know, is that in here? Has neighbor. Okay, and where do you assign those? Is that game? No. Selection? Yeah, selection type. First, middle, last, and open. And the type. Okay. All right, so selection does know where the last is, so it can answer that question. Okay. Extract the neighborhood and location. Yes. Yeah, I think we should say if it's in the neighbors, then it's valid. It's a neighbor. Okay. Alrighty. So let's put in a selection. Whoops. Get this one open. Okay, has type for each location. Excuse me. All right, that test is going to be something like this. Okay, has type for neighbors. Okay, so if we do selection and we select 0, 0, well, they're all neighbors, aren't they? Let's do a bigger board. Six, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And we'll select 0, 0. That's fine. Okay. So 0, 1 should be a neighbor. I think I just need to list them all. Okay. 0, 0 should be last. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 should be a neighbor. 1, sorry. Let's do these systematically. Well, he's also a neighbor. neighbor. 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 is a neighbor. 1 2 is not. He's an open. 2 0 Okay, almost everything's on neighbor. Okay, 0 0 to 0 2. Yeah, if he wraps and wraps, he's a neighbor. Okay, 1 1 1. Is everything a neighbor? Wait a minute, I'm getting confused. Call to open neighbors for last location. All right. Okay. 0 0. Yes. Yes. 0 1. Yes. Yes. 0 2. Sorry. Yeah. 0 2. Yes, because he's wrapping horizontally. 1 0. 2 0. Wrapped vertically. 2 1 wrapped vertically. 2 2 horizontally. Is 1 2 the only open one that is in there? No, I got to do a bigger grid. Ugh. I wonder if there's an array that's like repeat. Repeating X count 16. Okay, we don't care what the letters are really. You're right. If I put it in the center, it's clear I've got 8 neighbors. And every cell has 8 neighbors. So yeah, too boring. Okay. So let's just take some that are and some that aren't. All right, let's make it 1 1. I think by your suggestion, that's probably easier to see. Okay. 0 0 is a neighbor. 0 1 is a neighbor. 0 2 is a neighbor. 0 3 is not. Is open. I guess that syntax error effectively. Okay. 0 3 is open. 1 0 is a neighbor. 1 1 is last. 1 2 is a neighbor. 1 3 is not a neighbor. I'll fix the formatting in a minute. Okay, 2 0, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3. Okay, and I think I can leave the others. Yeah. Well, I guess in for a penny. This is 3, 0. And these are all open. Oh, come on. Okay, that was me. Much better. Okay, now who breaks? Because we might have a switch statement somewhere that uses case. We certainly should in the UI. Oh, it probably has default. I don't know. One complaint. Sure. Okay, those are good expectations to fail. Is that the only test that failed? Yes, has type for neighbors. Good. Okay, that's a little hard to read with the pound expect whatever. I guess I could close that. All right. Came back open. All right, that's what we expect. Okay, now when you're asking the type, we're going to treat, if it's last, we're going to take it out. If it's first or middle, we'll take that out. Otherwise, if location dot has no, if I don't think we need our all neighbors, right? We just need this one. Okay, if the last entry, oh, just need a bang. No. Oh, missing argument for parameter wrap. We don't. Oh, we know grid. Okay. Yeah, you're right. We do need size and unwrap. Now, we haven't checked last nil. If the location is last, let's see if anything breaks. And if it doesn't, we should add a test for last being nil here. It may not be able to happen the way we do things, but it's not justified in our code here. Thank you. Good. Okay. Else, if last is nil, return open. Else if last has neighbor, location. In other words, if this is a neighbor of last, and we know it's already not a first, middle, or last. Location is not. Okay, so I think well, what do I know? Okay, expectations. Oh, we look for open. Good game. I think that's the same thing. Did our selection pass? It looks like it did not. Type for each location. Oh, that's true. That should be neighbor. Okay, because he is next to last. Okay, that's the good kind of failure. That's something I didn't expect, but the answer was wrong in the new interpretation. Okay. All right, and now I forget what it's called. Grid something. Grid button style. Okay, so the border color for last is cell border last. Okay, let's break out neighbor. And I'll make that color the same for now. Cell border last. Can I do this? Huh. Can I duplicate? No. Can I copy and paste? Why is the word border in there? Oh, it is the border. Okay. All right, now let's run that. Now I expect the whole board to have red around each cell because they're all potential neighbors at first. So much for that. Okay, we use a default somewhere. Border color, foreground color, open or neighbor. And same thing here. Well, I don't know if I like it as much as I thought I would. But it might be okay. I think it'll be more meaningful on a bigger board. I don't know. Well, that's an experiment. Let's try it on this. Let's split these up, and we'll make it a little brighter, a little more saturated. I don't think that's doing anything for me. It kind of, it makes it harder to see what the cell, it's kind of changing it. So I don't think I like it. Wow, 4 T's in a row? Come on. H, A, D, D, E, R, S. Is Chatter able to get there somehow? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's helping because I think it sort of loses the persistence of it. That they all kind of have the same color regardless of location and stuff. Now, letters bold, that's an idea. We don't modify that characteristic. I could almost see making the selected letters bold and these italic or something. Background color. I don't know, is there a style we can put on content? I don't know how that goes. It's on the button. What is that font? Font weight. That's a little too bold. That's medium? No, did I do it backwards? Open is medium. Wow, what's bold? Well, I'm gonna have to get a lighter. Regular? Okay. Wasn't enough contrast for sure. It was very visually in your face. Okay. Well, maybe. I mean, the bold doesn't suggest, I don't know, it doesn't say potential to me. I kind of think italic would in a way, but I don't know. I'm not sure the border is really helping much. And weight is not style. Okay. Font. How do you set italic? There's got to be a better way. Maybe not. And italic is not a Boolean. Is that true? Oh, you guys. Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Some of those get very, it'd be very easy for that to be obnoxious. Okay, yeah, this is not. No, it's not unreasonable, and it does say there's something moving. You should touch it. It was kind of natural in a sense. Yeah, I don't think the bold distinction is so good. Can I make it like what's coming in here is a view, right? View modifier. I'm going to take the font weight out. I don't think that was helpful. And I don't think there was a way to know that without trying it, so that's okay. If type equals neighbor, return content dot italic. I don't know. Otherwise, I have to set up yet another modifier. It's not working. Return statement has to... Can I say as some view? Declares some view, but the return statements do not have matching types. The return statement has underlying type some view. Welcome back. Okay, I did a quick search. Somebody says, yeah, it'd be nice if you had italics. And you can make an extension to do that. I think that will be the easiest. Oh, read more. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they don't allow that on there, but this does seem like just sort of the... And it's not even... It's so generic, I don't think you can say it's copyrighted, except I'll take off the parentheses. Let's try adding that up here. And we don't need that. Any complaints? Oh, yeah. Now, whether we like it or not, that's another question. Can you make enabled non-required? Yeah, that might work. Okay. And I'm not bothered that it's not like that on every cell at the beginning. I actually think it's nicer. Yeah, I don't know why they do that, because sometimes they have enabled and that, but they're just not consistent with it, unfortunately. Okay. Well, I think that'll do it. We'll have to see how people feel about it. And maybe we'll have a better idea. I do want to redo this view, and so I don't want to go too hog wild on changing it, knowing that I'm going to change it anyway. All right, but I think that meets what I wanted to do of give visual indication of neighbor cells to the last. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. The bold was just too much. I don't know if the color is still worth it. Even in a 5x5, there's kind of a lot that are active, but we'll see. I think it'll help, and I think other stuff we do will make more difference. Annoying, yeah. Okay, so now, well, what I want to do, I would like to make this a draggable, like an infinitely scrollable thing that if kind of like if you flick it, I would like it to appear to be scrolling, and the new one not need to come in on the other side, the new one to just be right there as you reveal it as you scroll. And what we're doing is just very, very different from that. Now, the second aspect of this is I do want to look forward to what if we supported tessellations, that you would have different shaped cells under some circumstances. And that may change things, but I'm not sure. One alternative is that right now these things are being drawn as buttons, and I think maybe they should be drawn as shapes, and shapes with a on pressed kind of thing, so they're button like. I don't know. I'm worried that I'm creating a project that's going to get out of hand, frankly. Okay. And the other thing we talked about is sort of the wrapping. Let's see, where do I have that? Yeah. So in effect, like if ASEDEUORO, these cells, I don't know if I can, I think they're a picture. Oh no, they're not. Okay. Did that select? I can't tell. Okay, can I do this? And a very light color fill. Well, blue's okay. Okay, enough that I can see what I'm saying. So I think I need another copy here. To make sense of things. Okay, so I would like it to be, if you're scrolling over this way, it picks up the equivalent of looking like it's here. And you could leave it and it would just look like you started off somewhere different and no problem. And similarly if you scroll up, but if you scroll up enough, I don't know that I need to have 8 copies around. Well, yeah. So, put a passepartout on top that shows only one grid. What's a passepartout? Yeah, I don't know if I need the 3x3 grid to do it or not. So I don't know. I'm not sure the whole path to take here, but I think it's not scrolling per se. It's really dragging that makes it interesting. And scrolling is just going to be a distraction. Scroll bars are going to be there trying to say the view should be a fixed size, and that's not what I want. I want this to feel like an infinite grid that wherever I go, I just see the same letters over and over. And a layer with a whole of grid size. Oh, I see. Okay, maybe so. I think to some extent, kind of what I want to do is when you release, I want to, let's say you dragged over so far that this is your center no, let's say you dragged over so A is your center and you release. I would like to put myself back here and it'll look just like I'm here, except that now it's, it's just kind of, I'm always on that center grid when I finish, which won't matter, I think. Okay, so I believe what I want to do is first change these from being buttons to being shapes. And that will give me some flexibility for how I do the shape, I think. And also give me some flexibility of my gridness of my the view, the underlying view that I'm dragging around. Now, I don't know if I need these border ones to make that seem to work, because you can drag sort of I guess you can only drag one screen's worth from a screen. Yeah, if you don't have whatever you call it, you can. Some things are set up with the velocity of when you've finished flicking, you kind of flick it and it can go zzz. Release the grid, update the grid location, move the grid back to 0, 0. Yeah, I think that's what we want to kind of do. Okay, so I think step 1 is convert these to shapes. Step 2 is put this shape in a view that responds to dragging. And then step 3 is maybe make sure there's something there while you're dragging. So we can do the release thing, let it look like it's dragging over here with blank stuff coming in, and then release and put it in the position it should be, I think. Another one is, you should be able to drag any direction. If I drag diagonally, I should appear to pull in this grid on top left. At some point, I would like to be able to twist it, and maybe it's just rotate the phone and not, I'm not sure what's not changing, but I want the letters to stay oriented, like you can read them, and the grid to rotate, So we'll have to see what that is. And it may not be symmetric when I have tessellations going on. So that'll be fun. Okay, so sort of a path. Let's draw shapes instead of buttons. Now I think we can do an overlay on the shape of the text, and that's fine. Determine how many cells worth. I don't think, I'm not sure how that's going to go. Debounce during the drag process. I don't know what that's for. Change the scrolling. That's what we're doing. Do we need directions? I don't think we do. I think whatever distance you're scrolling is sort of how far you're moving your position in the grid, and we'll see what happens. But I think given that you can only drag one screen's worth at a time, then you're right that the 3x3 grid is probably sufficient, and we may not even need to do it. We may be able to fake it. Like, how do you draw this? And we'll say, oh, just pretend you're here and draw it, Okay. Change the scrolling. Move during change, not just on ended. Yes. But maybe this is on drag ended, update location. I think that's kind of what we're saying. Okay, now I want to make this incremental as I can. And I think this is probably a good time to say, hey, these things should be separate views, and what are you doing here? So let's start that. Let's separate out views from views in ContentView. Okay, because I want them to be something we can work with, not this giant thing in the middle of ContentView that's messing it up. Okay, so the body, I think with a Z stack, what's the V stack? That's the whole thing too. Why is it a Z stack? I don't remember. Something's on top, I guess. All right, the icon, the gas, and the button. Oh, okay, see index 1. And maybe the message. No, I don't think the message. All right, let's pull this. Hey, welcome back. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got a fair bit done on our board now. We just added something to kind of make the next square show up as italic with a little bit of a border, hoping that suggests where you can move to, like, oh, I can wrap around. But what was the other thing? Oh, we refactored some of the way it generates all the words, finds all the words automatically, but we're not showing that at this point. But what I want to do now is I want to change these buttons to be shapes and then look at a different way of scrolling them. So we'll see. All right. So this is, what would we call this? I guess it's the gas view. Yeah, that's the gas. So that sort of makes sense. I think I'll copy this. I'll make a class in here and then extract it to a file. Function. Okay. And I don't know, he should get I guess he should be given the gas. Maybe he deserves the message too. He's going to depend on it. The gas offset. Oh, that's well, I'm not 100% sure. I think like a shape, you draw the path for, well, you can use circle and square and stuff, or rectangle or whatever, but you can draw the path. So if we get to the tessellations where they're different shapes and, you know, like there's sort of a wing shape, a little V-ish kind of thing, and a variety of them, you know, we need to draw hexagons or octagons or something. I think those individual things you click will need to be shapes, and there'll need to be some entity that can have a press or click or something like that. All right, I guess this is kind of okay as it is. Guess view is this H stack along with the Z index. Okay, I'll leave the message, but this is the grid view. Well, I'm not going to do tessellation until we've straightened out the scrolling, but I want to kind of keep it in mind, I guess, a little bit. Okay, so this is grid view, returns some view. And then this stuff is your guesses. Maybe answers view. Okay, we'll just make sure that's doing this. I also wonder about this. Notice we use that row and column just to get the, yeah. Okay, so the views are there. I guess if I do something that doesn't make a word, you're going to complain. Okay. And if I submit a word, H-U-N-T. Okay, that all seems like it's all where it should be. So, extract functions for view for subviews. Okay, now this one I'm going to try and pull out. He needs row indexes, column indexes. He basically needs game. Yeah, everything about this is game. Game, row and column. Well, he's got row and column here. Okay. Yeah, I would say everything here is game. Let's pass the game. A binding to the game anyway. Well, no, I'm going to make this. I'm going to move him up. I hope I don't already have one. Where's guesses view? Oh, well, that's... I'm going to say this is answer details view. Okay. Now it's going to be guesses view. And it's going to... I'll move that up. I don't think... Oh, yeah, that's the thing that scrolls down, drops it down. And where's guess offset used? On the frame. Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess collect word can't go there. Who is calling it? Oh, the double click. Well, he's not guesses view, he's grid view. Okay. Game is a binding already, so I don't think I need to put the $sign again. Okay. But he doesn't know how to collect. I guess I need a way to make this function available. He's a function that comes in. That should have renamed. That's the one I expected it. Oh, he does want the wrapper. Okay. And he needs the collect. Well, yeah, I know that. I don't know if he's going to let me do that. Yes. Okay, well. All right, so that should make this grid view a separate view at this point. His only interaction is if you click on the word, it calls that function that got passed in. Whatcom? S-O-O-T. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, now maybe we can select this. Get grid view. I love that. Like, you start getting some real refactoring things that speed you up. Okay, we need to import SwiftUI, which you should have determined for me. Okay, and once again, let's just run, make sure it's all together. Good. All right, so let's check that in. We have extract helper view, guesses view, rename guesses view to answer details view. Guess I'll put that in the other order. Okay. Cut the struct and export the clipboard to a file. So I'm just doing select it and right click refactor. He's doing, let's try it. Review. So cut, and then is that on edit? Paste, export. How do you export your clipboard to a file? I'm not sure I see how he does that. Export clipboard to file. It's not a paste. Is it an export? I don't think that's... Not to see how he does that. Oh, maybe so. Oh, that could be. Well, in any case, I like that we have some easy ways to do that. I don't want to have to create the file manually myself, for sure. Okay. Yeah, now let's see, we got 5 minutes. I think this piece kind of to here that's drawing the individual things. So we walk through the rows, walk through the columns, and generate the button. Now, yeah, okay. So I think I can continue this extracting. I think that deserves to be its own shape. And I don't know if I want to call them letters or what I want to call them. Maybe it's LetterView. Because the big thing is this is here. And we do the actions to do it. I mean, that's pretty important. Okay. So let's take out that much. Extract a method. No. Oh, it did. Okay, just a little slow. and a little wrong. Okay. Row event. Return some view. And I'm going to call this LetterView. Okay. And then I'm going to wrap it in a struct. LetterView is some view. No, that should just be view. One more of these. Okay, he needs collect word too. Word is a function of nothing to nothing. Oh, it's body, not description. Okay. And he needs the game. Well, he's going to have to be the same thing. Oh, I can't make him local either. Well, this extractor file is going to be better. Oh, except for one thing. Okay, let's do it up here so it's legal syntax first. Now why is he not happy? Okay, well, we'll do it manually. Except you think I can extract and then paste here? Right click on the file tree, new file from clipboard. New file from template. Okay, that's good to know. 2 ways to do it. I gotta put this back. GridView. Okay, then we need to make sure the caller passes the game. Okay, I think we're back to consistent. We'll just sort these while we're... Okay, that looks real. Pen... I don't know if it's a word. Okay. SH... Wow, I got no vowels. Fens. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good place. Okay. So we've we've basically extracted out the grid view, and from that we've extracted out LetterView, and letter is the object we're going to replace with a shape. So extract LetterView from GridView. All right. And we will continue working on this scrolling approach tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be to the scrolling part, but I think we'll at least get these things turned into shapes, and then work on some scrolling. Okay, so anyway, thanks for joining today. Hope I see you tomorrow or some other time, 2 to 4:30 Eastern Time or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Good night.